Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers returning the clock back to Thursday Night Football here. What a barn burner this was. 12-6. Rams go into San Francisco and get the win. Rams top-graded player here, Kevin Dotson, at the very top of the list with a 90.0. Wide receiver Puka Nacua with an 84.1. Defensive tackle Kobe Turner, a 79.7. Linebacker Christian Roseboom with a 78.6. And then safety Cameron Kinchens with a 77.9. Matthew Stafford in this one struggled, and I'll get to that in a second. 45.1 overall grade. On the 49ers side of things, linebacker Fred Warner, a 92.1. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw, was great to see him back. Everybody loved that, except for Devondre Campbell, with an 87.6. Tight end George Kittle, an 84.4. Edge rusher Nick Bosa, an 80.2. Cornerback Diamador Lenore with a 78.6. And then Brock Purdy, 54.7. Stat that told the story for me was the rain. It rained in this game. It poured in this game. And the offense sucked because of it. I mean, that was a brutal first half to watch that football game.
Oh, the whole thing. This was one of the ugliest games we've watched.
I mean, Dalton, they couldn't pass. They couldn't pass the football. Like Brock Purdy also stunk in this game, and some of it had to do with, with Brock Purdy. I don't mean to harp on this, but it just is what it is. He's got the lowest tier arm of starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you think about pure arm strength, obviously it matters in ideal conditions, but it especially matters when it is not ideal conditions. When you have smaller hands and when you have a lower arm strength, lower tiered arm strength for NFL standards, it is hard to grip the football. It is hard to rip the football in rain and snow and wind and whatever it is. And this game, being inclement weather the way that it was, really shined a spotlight on Brock Purdy not being able to stand out from a physical tool standpoint. And he had an ugly game. Matthew Stafford had an ugly game. And, Matthew Stafford's got a really good arm. And he even struggled in this game. So that just goes to show you how much this was tough. Niners, 3.6 yards per play. Rams, 4.6 yards per play. Niners didn't even get into the red zone one time.
Nope.
They didn't even get into the red zone once. The Rams did. Over 3. This is a tough contest. It's tough.
It was.
Tough to watch.
Yeah, that's it for me. Niners, 3.6 yards per play. Under 4 in both run and pass. Their offensive line without Trent Williams, a big-time struggle, 54.8 grade up front. And that's really what you need in a game like this is, we've seen it from the Lions. They went up to Green Bay when it was pouring rain, but they've got one of the 2 best O-lines in football, so they can walk in there and run people over, right? And it just shows again, you don't have Trent Williams. You don't have Brandon Ayuk. You don't have Christian McCaffrey. You don't have Jordan Mason. I mean, you're running Isaac Orendo out there when he certainly never expected to play this much this season. And it's pouring rain, and Brock Purdy can't really throw the football very much. It's just everything about this Niners offense in this game got broken. And I think Purdy's the most disappointing one for me, actually, because it's not just this week. If it was just this week, okay. Brock Purdy hasn't been playing well for the better part of 2 months outside of the Bears game. Since week 7, 59.8 passing grade.
Really?
Yes. When Brandon Ayuk got hurt, everything changed.
Maybe I'm just remembering the early parts of the season then. That's shocking.
You're right. Through the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
He was the second highest graded quarterback in football.
Okay, then that's the timeline I'm thinking of.
Since week 7, 59.8. And that's propped up with the Bears game last week where they teed off on them. And if I take out that Bears game, it's like a 53. Brock Purdy, for the better part of 2 months, has not been good. Pass protection, obviously, with Williams in and out of the lineup, not great, but workable. Without Ayuk, this whole offense has changed. And Purdy's changed. And one thing I've noticed is you're seeing teams this year run a whole lot more press coverage against the Niners. They're not separating. The only one separating from it is Juwan Jennings. And the guy last year who would separate from it was Brandon Ayuk.
Right.
Now he's gone. Teams are not afraid of the Niners' weapons this year. And I don't know if it's because they're a year older or they saw something or they're just trying something different or they think Purdy can't throw into it. But this is an issue. It's already an issue. They're 6-8, and they're just about done here because they've lost twice to the Rams now. Is that right?
Yes, because they were 0-3 against all of the opponents.
Then they're pretty much shot.
Yeah.
Because you're not winning this division. Because then you're talking about a win out, lose out thing, and it's just not the Rams. I think personally the Rams are going to get down the stretch here and win this division. But we'll see with Seattle if they can recover from everything that happened last night. But no, the Niners offense now, it's really concerning, and I think you're going to get a debate just like we got about Tua and we've gotten about other guys in the past of, is Brock Purdy worth that money?
Right. With
Burrow and Lawrence and
right.
those guys with the, you mentioned the tools, and is handing Brock Purdy 5 years and $300 million, is that going to work? This is a type of game and this is a type of stretch of football where I think there's going to be real debates about it now. I think the Brock Purdy contract negotiation is going to be tense.
I agree.
Very.
Most impressive in this game for me is Kevin Dotson. He was the highest graded player for the Rams. 90.8 run blocking grade, 22.2 impact run blocking percentage. And then the most disappointing for me is Devondre Campbell, who has now been suspended for the final 3 games for the Niners. I think they suspend him sort of as an FU to him, right? Because they're not going to cut him and have him go sign with the Lions, because that's exactly what he would have done with a team that's down 5 of their 6 starting linebackers. Devondre Campbell gets cut. Guess where he's going? He's on a plane to Detroit within the first 12 hours. So they're not cutting him. They're suspending him for the season, and they're basically like, all right, well, you don't get to play football again the rest of the year, and then they'll cut him at the end of the year.
Yeah, I get it.
That's crazy.
That's it's weird. It's weird to see, and if he felt slighted because of Dre Greenlaw starting, then Greenlaw's got clout. We've seen what he can do in the past.
Greenlaw's better.
He's better, and he's a core piece of this team.
Yeah, right.
Like, there was no chance that Greenlaw wasn't going to start.
No.
It is what it is. Also on Kevin Dotson, did you see the clip of him pancaking 2 guys in one screenplay?
I didn't even see that one.
Oh man! Well, he releases the D tackle in front of him on a screen. The Niners or the Rams run like a middle screen with Kyron. I think it was with Kyron. Pancakes a linebacker, gets up off of that, pancakes a safety.
Still hungry.
And then was going to pancake a third guy, I think a corner, off to his right.
That's a stack.
But the whistle blew. He almost had a triple stack. He had a double. It's a great clip if you look at it. Was one of the screens that they ran. I don't remember. It might have been in the second half. Second level, just killing everybody. Just a freight train. Kevin Dotson, one of the best offensive line clips of the season. It's great. And then on my side, I'll go linebackers too, most impressive. But the Rams had this weird thing. We're trying to figure out linebacker all season. We're trying to figure out this whole defense. But 2 guys played really well in this game. Christian Roseboom, 78.6 overall grade, one of their highest graded players. And Omar Spates, a guy we talked about in the preseason. Troy Reeder got hurt a few weeks ago, and now he's been out for a while, and Spates has stepped into the starting role. Had a great preseason, undrafted out of LSU, 71.6 overall, 4 run stops. I'll tell you what, the Niners did struggle to run in this game, and it was in part because the Rams linebackers were really good.
Omar Spates, man.
I just undrafted out of LSU.
I know. I watched him at Oregon State and I watched him at LSU, and I could see he's got some nice athleticism to him, but I was worried that just physically he was going to kind of get overwhelmed a little bit. Wasn't super stand out at either location, more so at Oregon State, I feel like, than he was at LSU. But this year, he is playing so confidently.
He's got instincts, doesn't he?
This year, he's been unbelievable. Every step is in the right direction. He's not being fooled. There's no hesitancy. He is going a million miles an hour. He's got so much confidence, and now you're seeing that a little bit smaller of a linebacker comes with some plus athleticism to him, and when every step is correct and going in the right direction, you got those great instincts and awareness, you see great results.
Hey, I'll tell you,
I love the call out.
It feels like we talk about at least 1, if not 2 or 3 Rams rookies every week.
Oh yeah,
what a class.
Hey, when
Kinchins was in that top 5.
When Les Snead has some picks, he's pretty good at this thing.
Oh, so he likes draft picks now? Is this what we're doing?
Well,
we go 8 years without taking a first rounder, and then we have a class like this.
Maybe,
Maybe.
We'll see. We gotta wait till draft weekend to see if he deals any of these, somewhere else for some sort of veteran.
We'll get the slogan working back.
Well, yeah, we might be there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below. So if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.